Okay, today's Q&A is about danger, and the question is: do hashgachas pay any attention to food safety? And the answer is like this. Basically, hashgachas take the attitude that the local Department of Health, or whatever they call themselves in your city, has the expertise to decide if food is safe or not. It's not something that the rabbis, as a rule, get involved in. They don't. If the government is happy, considers it safe, then they don't, second guess that. An exception to that is that smoking and vaping are considered legal. But even so, most hashgachas will not certify cigarettes or cigars or vaping juice because they don't want it to give the appearance that they're endorsing people who do that when these are known to have health concerns to them. So the hashgachas don't want to be seen to be behind these kind of things. Now, similar to that is that recreational marijuana, or THC, is legal in many states. But most hashgachas, again, will not certify them for the same reason, just like cigarettes and cigars and those kind of things like that. At the same time, they would, and they actually do, certify medical marijuana, and that's because the need for that is it's very different, and there's medical uses for it, and that outweighs the potential safety concerns. I'll just mention in passing that vape juice and marijuana are made with ingredients that need hashgacha, and therefore they shouldn't be used without hashgacha. Now, there are some places, back to our safety discussion, there are some places where the din has its own ideas of which things are safe, are dangerous, which is separate from what the government would consider dangerous, and hashgachas for sure keep those in mind when they give hashgacha, when they certify something as kosher. The most well-known of that is that you can't eat meat or chicken with fish, and therefore, if a sauce contains anchovies is a kind of fish, if a sauce will contain anchovies or marshmallows that are made with fish gelatin, then that item would be marked as being fish next to the hashgacha symbol, and that's so people will know, don't eat this together with meat. Okay. Now, even though that's true, and the hashgachas all are careful about that, most assume that if the fish is bottled in the food, the amount of fish there's very little fish in there, then you could eat it with meat, and that's why there will be sauces that have anchovies in them, but it's just such a tiny amount that the hashgacha decides it's so little it's bottled, and you could still label the food as parv. Okay. Another thing is that the Gemara says you're not supposed to leave eggs or garlic overnight if they are peeled. If they're peeled, you can't leave them overnight. So, and the Gemara, the implication is that there's a danger issue to that also. So, some hashgachas who follow the Gemara straight as it says it will not give hashgacha to peeled eggs or liquid eggs. Many hashgachas, however, assume that since it's not recorded in Shulchan Aruch, this Gemara is not brought in din, therefore they will certify, they basically ignore that Gemara and assume it doesn't apply anymore nowadays. Now, there are also hashgachas that are taken in between. They take like a middle ground between these extremes. Some allow these peeled or liquid eggs if there are other ingredients added, and they have all kinds of different shittas about what's considered something that was added or not added. And another idea is, Rav Moshe says, is that the Gemara only applies in a home setting, but not for foods made commercially. So it's another possible reason why some will apply the Gemara only in certain cases, but not in other cases. One last thing is that the Gemara says that a person cannot drink water that was left uncovered because of the possibility that a snake left some venom in the water. And as far as that din, which is also a safety issue, the Shulchan Aruch says that where we live, there are no venomous snakes around, and therefore we don't have to be makbid on this anymore. So there are people who are particular and who follow the Gemara's directions even so, but most people, and for sure all hashgachas, follow what the Shulchan Aruch says, and they don't have any restrictions and don't have any requirements that water not be left uncovered.